SEAT search for a rally star continued in Humberside when the Super 6 gathered to contest the second round of the series, which will decide who gets the SEAT kit car drive in the 1999 British Rally Championship. After Bournemouth, where there were only 3 finishers, Mike Brown leads from Fermanagh's Mark Fisher. So Stephen Whitford, Ireland's other interest, who retired with drive shaft failures on the southern stages, has some ground to make up.
I need a finish really, but I also need to win. Obviously we have no points, but there's only 3 guys scored on the first round, so there was 3 obviously didn't score then, and we're one of the 3, so we have no points to date.
This event tomorrow, we have 6 stages, 1 on tarmac and 5 gravel stages. They're all 8-9 miles long, so you can't really afford to make any mistakes, but you have to go flat out.
It starts on the familiar tarmac at Oliver's Mount, the park which is also used for motorcycle racing, where Mark posts fastest time at 4 minutes 12 seconds. That's 2 seconds faster than Mark Perrott. Stephen Whitford is 4th fastest with a time of 4 minutes 15, but he's not having a good morning.
So far we haven't been going so well. First stage we had a clean run, no problem. Stage 2 we had a spin, and either 3rd or 4th, I can't remember, and we had to stop and reverse. We ended up pointing back the way we came, and on stage 3 we got a puncture about 2 mile in, although it was my own fault. I went wide on a K right and over a bit of rough, and I'd seemed to knock the bead off the tyre. So we done 3 mile on a puncture. I think we're about 40 seconds behind the lead now, Mark Perrott.
I believe we're leading by 5 seconds from Mark Fisher, and everything seems to be going fairly well. The back wheel's got a little bit too much negative camber on it. It's leaning in a little bit. We haven't really got time to do anything with it today, so we'll just carry on. Doesn't seem to be causing too much of a problem.
Fisher lost that initial lead to Perrott when they went into the forests, but by the second stage in the loose, Fermanagh drivers keeping the Englishman in check. But it's Perrott's day. He's fastest on 4 of the 6 stages and wins by 10 seconds. Stephen Whitford at least posts a fastest time, but his hopes of that kit car drive are fading. From Humberside, the Super Sixers move to Wales for round 3. Mark Fisher just 2 points behind the leader, Mike Brown.
It's gone very well for us. We can't complain at all. We've had 2 second places, which leaves us, 2 good scores to fall back on. So we'll push today and see what we can do.
Mark and Gordon Noble start the day well with an equal fastest time to Mark Perrott on the first stage. But Perrott is on home territory and expected to do great things. But Stephen Whitford and Stephen Macaulay are in trouble again.
Brother drive shaft, 3 mile into the first one. We had to do 5 mile with a broken shaft, and then the next stage, which was 4 mile with a broken shaft. So the next one we just took our time through and it was dead on. So it's going okay now.
We got caught in Stephen Whitford's dust when he broke a drive shaft, and we dropped 23 seconds to Mark Fisher. So we're now having to play a bit of catch up.
Brown is catching up rather effectively as he posts 5 fastest times in a row to head for his second victory in the SEAT Super 6 series. But Mark Fisher's hours are numbered. The Fermanagh driver has been on fantastic form, but in the Haffron stage, a wheel comes off at Castrol Ibiza, and that forces them off the road. Haffron is one of the classic stages in Wales that's frequently used on the RAC rally. Not the place to get lost in your notes.
Up to what looks like a medium left, long slight right. What caution up here? And the caution.
What is it?
Square left. I'm trying to read it. I'll tell you about it later. Square right. Slight left and the square right. Long, slight left.
Well, life is never dull in the Whitford camp, but But despite a few hairy moments, the two Stephens are heading for a finish.
Medium right. Poor left.
Mike Brown will get his second win of the series, making him the firm favourite. Wayne Sisson's is second and Stephen Whitford comes home in third place. Next, it's time for Mark and Stephen to introduce their fellow Seat Super Sixers to the pleasures of Irish tarmac rallying when they come to the Sligo stages on the 12th of July. But have the Irish boys left it too late? Remember, only 4 of the 6 rounds count, so Mr. Brown is going to take some patching.
We need a win, but then there are a lot of other drivers here needed as well, so we did a good recce today, and I think it's just a case of getting the head down tomorrow and going for it.
I feel a bit happier now I've looked at some of the roads, but a little bit worried about the bumpiness.
Tarmac at last, yeah. We even get a recce in this rally, which is going to be nice. It's the first rally this year that we've got to go over the stages and check them and see what they're like beforehand, so looking forward to it.
Mike, you're leading the series. You're the one that the Irishmen are worried about, and here you are also. You've got a bit of tarmac experience.
Yeah, a little bit. I've done Donegal a couple of times, so that was quite good last year. But I think this is going to be a bit of a handful tomorrow somehow.
Why do you say that?
It's just a bit quicker, the car, you see, and it's very, very bumpy over here in comparison to Donegal. And I'm struggling to keep hold of it, to be honest, down the straights.
As we continue to lap the lake shores of Lough Gill on the Sligo Stages Rally, Stephen Whitford is really charging to try and close the Seat gap. He sets fastest time in stage 6, but it's a prelude to disaster as he crashes out heavily on the next stage. Mike Brown and Alex Davis are home in a boat as they not only win in Sligo, but they also take the Seat Finance Super 6 Series and are destined to become professional rally drivers. Second today is little consolation for Mark Fisher and Gordon Noble as the big prize is now decided.
Narrows, handbrake and gravel on exit. 50. Very fast right. And easy right. 50. Caution left, max over bump. 30.
The Seat Super 6, 6 young rally talents selected from scores of applicants to contest 6 rallies across the UK and Ireland with the sensational prize of a wax-assisted drive in the 1999 British Rally Championship. And the good news for Ireland was that 2 of them came from Ulster, Mark Fisher and Stephen Whitford. They were chosen after a hectic day at Silverstone, which included some unusual aptitude tests. Selection, the Sixers moved to the forests in the south of England for the Bournemouth Winter Rally, where Mike Brown came out on top.
Well, it started off very well with a win down in Bournemouth, and it was a bit of a surprise to myself, to be honest. The following round was up here in Yorkshire, the Northamptonshire stages. And for some reason, I'm not sure why, we only finished third. Probably lost my head somewhere. A bit too quick up here. The following round after that was the Plains. And although we got caught in dust and whatever, we managed to actually pull it all together in the end. And we won that round. We then went over to Ireland, worked all night on the car to transform the suspension or whatever. and we won that, beating the Irish lads, which obviously annoyed them somewhat. And from then on, we've been basically just playing around, just not taking too many risks to try and conserve the car for when we hand it back.
Well, the championship started in Bournemouth. That was very interesting. Mike Brown, he came home with the win and we were second. And then we moved on to the Humberside Rally where I picked up another second place. So not wanting to get into that habit, we went to the Plains and had a big attack, and we had a big dance with Mark Perrott on his home ground, but then I rolled. So moving on from there, we all re-adjourned in Sligo, not too far from where I live in Ireland, and we didn't manage to do anything special on home ground. I think some people tell you it's very hard to win your home rally, and we didn't do that there. And it's one of those championships where you can discount nobody. You know, everybody's in there and fighting for seconds, and it makes such a difference. You know.
It's been a good experience, yeah. We didn't start off particularly well when we had the roll on the Bournemouth, and that knocked our confidence back for a couple of rounds, but it's been very close. I mean, there has been pressure on. There's been that many different people setting fast times, and you've just got to go flat out from the word go, really.
We started off the year quite bad because we had a few mechanical problems on the first round with broken drive shaft, which actually left us scoring no points. We moved on from there. We had a good enough run on the second round, and then we had a problem again in the third round with drive shaft again. We rolled on one of the rallies actually in Sligo, which left us that we couldn't win the championship. So all we can do is go for second.
Round 5 is in Scotland, the McRae Stages Rally, and the event is graced by the presence of one of its sponsors, Colin McRae, who thrills the onlookers when he uses the old family Metro as a 00 car. Magic moments in a Metro from the most spectacular man in the World Rally Championship. But what does the former champion think of the Seat Super 6 competition?
It would be nice to see a bit more manufacturer support at that level. Obviously it is very difficult to get involved, and at least these schemes give youngsters a bit of a chance to get into the sport.
The big prize has already been won by Mike Brown, so Mark Fisher and the others now fight for the second place prize, a drive in the RAC Rally. This morning does not get off to a good start for Fisher.
We had a small problem this morning when we had a broken drive shaft, but we've got that replaced now and the car's going fantastic again.
Mark's drive shaft problem cost him 5.5 minutes. It's a problem experienced by a number of the Ibiza runners during the year, and it drops the Fermanagh driver right to the tail of the Seat runners and down to 44th place. But at least he and Gordon Noble finish, getting them one valuable point. Mark Perrott and Gary Marshall are 5th out of the 6th in the South Scottish stages. Mark has had to replace a whole exhaust pipe. The 27-year-old Leominster driver plans to rally a Group N car in the 1999 British Championship. Ollie Clarke, the son of the late Roger Clarke, and Rob Dyson seem to be getting some luck at last when they finish in 4th place. Wayne and Neil Sissons are 1 place ahead despite suffering 2 slow punctures during the day. They finish in 19th place overall. But that man, Mike Brown, is right up there again, this time in 2nd place. Not taking any risks now that he's won the series, yet going quick enough to pick up some more useful points. But at last, this is Stephen Whitford and Stephen McCoy's day. Seen passing Mark Fisher's ailing car here in the first stage, they set fastest time on the first 4 tests, getting them an extra point.
1 right, 70.
This puts the County Down driver right back in the picture for that RAC drive.
Today I need to win, and on the last round I need to win. I need 2 maximum scores, and there's a bonus point for the fastest amount of stage times. So you get an extra bonus point for that. So if we can manage to do that today and do the same in the next rally, yes, we'll finish second, and then we get a drive in the RAC. So it's all to go for, although the good prize is away.
There's nobody to touch Weavy on the McRae stages. He finishes first of the Seats and 30 seconds ahead of Mike Brown.
50. 2 left over crest to turn, 4 right kink. Watch down here, watch it. 5 left. Into 2 right.
And just to show how useful these little Ibithas are, Stephen is 14th overall.
The final round, the Seat Super 6 become the Magnificent 7 as their works driver Gwyndaf Evans joins the Ibitha Club on the Track Rod Rally.
Oh, it's great to come and have a bit of fun, to be honest. Yeah, I'm not so sure about the car though. I think I'd rather the Evolution 2 car, but yeah, we'll see how it goes.
The Super Sixers are playing with the big boys this weekend as the Track Rod is also a round of the Mintex British National Rally Championship. So by the time Gwyndaf arrives, the Yorkshire forests are well furrowed. Wayne Sisson's, partnered as always by his brother Neil, is heading for 4th today. But Mark Perrott's chances of getting that RAC drive vanish when a tyre rolls off the rim, dropping him to 5th. Mark Fisher is lucky to be here after a testing accident, which caused a lot of damage on the Castrol Ibitha. The Fermanagh engineer has had to burn a lot of midnight oil to get to Yorkshire. Oliver Clarke has a broken intercom, and Mike Brown is enjoying playing with his new teammate. But the McRae Stages winner, Stevie Whitford, does not have a good day. He will retire with an electrical fire on the 2nd stage, and his RAC hopes go up in smoke with his car. As we watch the frontrunners in the Mintex Championship on Stage 4, we see how even they can get it wrong. Gwyndaf Evans, however, is not having it entirely his own way, as Mike Brown, the ProDrive rally engineer, has beaten him in one stage. For Fisher, few days could be more important, but he's having gear selection problems in the car sport car. However, Mark has managed to beat Gwyndaf on 2 stages. Now that will be something to tell the grandchildren. And boy, do they have to give it everything in these little Ibithas.
We've had an excellent run this morning. We were fastest on stages 2 and 3, and that left us in the lead of Super 6, and we actually tied with Gwyndaf at that point, which is, I think that'll be my claim to fame for a couple of years yet. But unfortunately in stage 4 I lost about half a minute. I don't have reverse gear in the car, and I spun and needed reverse, so I had to wait for some people to come and push me. So we lost about half a minute, so the plan is now we'll put some new tyres in the car now and go out and have a go.
Oliver's Mount motorcycle track gives the competitors a brief run on tarmac, and with 2 cars allowed on the stage at one time, interesting things can happen. Mike Brown beats Gwyndaf by 7 seconds over the Scarborough course. A little extra bonus for the Seat Super 6 champion. And Mark Fisher is driving an inspired event. Unperturbed by those early gear selection problems, he's attacking all the way. It's a drive that brings the Ulster pair the just reward of second place in the SEAT Series and the coveted RAC Rally Drive. Wayne Sissons finishes third in the series with 17 points in his Miller's Oils Ibiza. And at the end of the day, Gwyndaff defends his honour by winning by 34 seconds over Mike Brown. It was sporting of him to take the risk.
The SEAT Super 6 will not be repeated next year, as they have achieved the goal they set out to achieve, to find a young British rally star. Can Mike Brown become the next Colin McRae or Richard Burns? He's certainly getting a great start.